Alright, so Mr. Folk is here. Let's see if somebody's home.
Hello? Who's this?
No, I'm yes sir.
Yes, sir?
Am I
Don't know her.
here for the Folk?
Come in. Where are you going? Come in.
Right.
Hi guys, before today's video begins, I do want to give a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, but we'll get to them a little bit later on. So a lot of you guys have been following our renovation journey for our home. It's kind of cool. You guys have been through the whole process with us from when we first started renting this house to when we bought it almost 2 years ago. And then this winter we did...
Right.
I'm still recovering from, you know, the C word. You guys have been through all those processes with us, and this winter we did a big renovations of the downstairs of the home. We've kind of split us renovating this house into different phases, and phase 1 has been finished. As you guys can probably tell, we've landed, so you've come through the back of the house, and this is the laundry. Now this space is still going to change a lot. We still have not done anything. So I'm going to kind of talk you through some of the things that still need to happen as I tour you around the house, because there's a lot that still needs to happen, but I am quite excited to show you what has been done so far. But for the laundry, it's going to be stripped. So all of these closets are going to be pulled out. The dryer and washer is actually going to be put upstairs. I never understand why a laundry is on the ground floor, because you're always bringing the clothes from upstairs, downstairs, only to go upstairs again. So we have a closet space that's quite big next to one of our toilets, so it'll be going up there. And this will become, we're gonna redo all the closets, and it's gonna become... We will redo all the closets and make sure that there's actually like space to like hang coats, because in here there's no, it's all shoes, but there's nowhere where you can actually put a coat, because
It's all true.
huh? That's not how I meant it. No, because we don't keep the nice shoes here. What I meant was, I'm not going to show you because it's all like dirty winter Crocs and stuff like that. So this is like the shoes that we use to go in and out of the house every day to go do the horses. But yeah, the floor is going to be changing. I've already found a floor I really love. It's kind of like an antique marble and dark floor. No, you've seen it. You were even at the store. But I'm going to put some photos up as I talk of also things that I'm referencing to.
So I'm not asking you 75 questions?
No, I'm trying to like do this with like one breath so I don't cough. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go in. The next spaces you've seen have been renovated. I think they're like 95% done. I would say there's like a few little touch-ups here and there, which you guys probably won't notice, but we know about them. So we're going to go through and tour it. I'm going to kind of bring you on the before and after. I'm going to be putting some photos of what the house looked like before and kind of where we're at now as well.
First, bring me my girls.
Girls!
Hello!
Here's Miss Penn. Here's Miss Maze.
So what we first wanted,
they've been loving the renovations.
We were just wanting to do like the painting the walls and changing the floor.
Yeah, this all
and
started
then it all escalated a little bit to everything that you're gonna see right now.
That whole idea that we weren't planning on a full reno, but because the house was good, we didn't have to change anything. The house was good as it was. The previous owners, Penny's just drinking away. The previous owners did a really great job renovating themselves, but it just wasn't to our taste, that's all. So we just wanted to make it more our own, but the house itself was fully fine as it was. So it was only done for us to really make it our home. But welcome, come inside. Let's take it all in, because a lot has changed, and I'll kind of be showing some little before and afters. So I'll give you guys a second to take that in. The kitchen is the heart of the home, and I think let's cover firstly a little bit of the style that we wanted to go for. We're both obviously very young. I'm 25, Yes is 39, This is 26, turning 27 though, which is odd.
I mean in the end of the year.
No, turning 27 because it's your favorite number. But anyway, so we wanted to go for something that was classic, but we wanted it to be fresh at the same time. We didn't want to live in a home that was too old for us or that felt too mature. But we did want to put our money into something that was going to age well. We didn't want to jump on any trends. We didn't want to have a certain look to a home that in 5 or 10 years time was going to look dated. We wanted something that hopefully was going to stand the test of time. And I think we've been able to kind of combine that. If I had to kind of sum up the styling, I think it would be like French country, French provincial slash English a little bit, I don't know. So kind of somewhere in that realm. Which actually was really difficult to find because that kind of style here in the Netherlands is not very popular. Once you head over to the UK or in Australia, it's super popular, but here in the Netherlands, it's not. So actually finding these pieces was really difficult, and a lot did come from the UK. So the kitchen we had before was super dark. We had a very dark floor, it was black. We had a very thick stone black countertop. As you guys can see, this room doesn't have many windows. There's one window on this side. On this side there is nothing, and the only other light is coming from the living room. So we wanted to brighten it up, and we wanted to play a little bit on the whites and muddy whites. So that's why we went with this color, which is Farrow and Ball Ammonite. And then we decided to do the walls and the ceilings in the same white to create this illusion of having a little bit more space, and also to be able to contrast this muddy white, because if you take a warm white, and this is something I found out as well, you will not believe how different colors look when they have other colors next to it and depending on the light. We first had the kitchen sprayed, we had a different wall color, and at first Jess and I were like, we don't see it, we don't see that difference, and we were like, I think it's not muddy enough, it's not a dirty white. But then when we painted the walls and we saw the contrast, it was very clear. We always knew we wanted the color of the kitchen to be subtle because the countertop was quite expressive. We actually came up with this design of the marble together, Jess and I, which was exciting. When we started renovating and they had to kind of take the kitchen apart to remove the countertop, we first had two kind of pillars on either side, but when we saw the space without those, we felt like it created so much more space. It felt more airy, it felt more light, it felt a little bit newer. And so we decided, okay, if we do leave these out and we have this huge wall space, I don't think it would have looked very nice to take the marble all the way to the top. I think it would have been overwhelming and overpowering. I think we've been able to achieve the right kind of balance with this design and only taking the marble up to this height, kind of like a skirt. And I really like the marble color as well. It was a little bit darker than what we had expected. You have to go out when you buy the marble and pick which slab you want, because there can be a lot of variation in different slabs. And this looks a little bit different in the home than what it did look like at the factory, but overall we are very happy. We have purchased a new stove as well. It's going to be coming in May. I ordered it, I think, in like October or November, and it's only arriving May, June. So the effects of the pandemic are still kind of affecting everything that has to do with appliances, renovations, materials, and all that kind of stuff. Are you looking to create your very own website, or do you already have a website and you're looking for a platform that makes it easier to go in, customize your own website and make it exactly how you want to? Then Squarespace is where you need to be. I've been running my website on Squarespace for over 3 years now. I run my shop on there. I'm able to go in and make quick changes. I don't have any coding knowledge, and I was able to build my own website and get the look and feel that I really wanted. If this sounds like what you've been looking for, then do use my link, which is www.squarespace.com/Harnacke, and in doing so you'll receive 10% off your first purchase of a domain or website. Thank you again, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video, and now back to the transformation. We did work with an interior designer for our home. She's actually a close friend of mine that I had in Australia. And she kind of helped bring all the ideas together, which was super helpful, because jumping into this, I had no clue what I wanted. Let's talk a little bit about the sink, because this is something that we were really excited about. This also took a very long time to arrive. So we went for this polished kind of brass look. It comes first out of the box like super polished, like almost like a gold, shining gold. But it does get this like aged patina look, which we like a lot better. What we do like about this tap as well is we ended up going for the option that has like instant boiling water in it. So if you want to make yourself a tea, or if you want to like boil some pasta and stuff, it's there. And then we also got the option that had the kind of rinse handle, which makes it a lot easier. And the handle here at the end is a soap dispenser. So you have the soap from underneath and it's all kind of hidden. I think you can kind of tell in the kitchen as well, we wanted everything to be kind of put away. We didn't want to have too many things out. We wanted it just to be a clean area where it's easy to maintain and do your things. So we ended up converting this little nook into like an appliances area. That way all the things that you do need in the kitchen are accessible, but they are tucked away. I think the dining table, it was definitely a bit of a splurge, and it's become one of the biggest talking pieces in our home. Everybody that comes in, firstly because you come in through the back door and you see it straight away, but it's such a beautiful oak finish. This was from Neptune and we went for the 10-seater option. So this is a 3-meter table. Prior to this, we didn't have a 3-meter table, and I was pretty hesitant about getting one because we didn't really know how it was going to fit inside the home, because it was 60 centimeters bigger than our previous one, and with all the chairs and stuff. But I think it fits this area quite nicely, and we ended up centering it with the range hood, because prior to this everything was centered to the room, but it didn't allow much of a walkway on this side, because this is kind of the main trafficked area here when you come in. So now we have more room to kind of walk through, and it feels like a passageway. And the table, to me, for my OCD, it fits better in the room because it's centered. We also went for these 3 pendant lights, which I really like. Those were also from the UK, from a company called Jim Lawrence. So if any of you are interested, that's where we got those from. We also did a few little changes on this buffet closet. I don't think it's like a breakfast buffet closet, this is called. But we wanted to change the design to make it look a little bit more, like it was giving me like 90s vibes before, and now I think it's a bit better, and it's a little bit cleaner and simpler, and it looks better. Now, moving on to the living room, because I feel like this was where the biggest change happened, and this is where we invested a lot of our money. We knew we wanted to utilize this room because it's huge. It's a big landing area from the kitchen, and we never used to use the space. We used to have a couch just on this end. We never sat here. It never served a purpose. One thing was certain though, and that's the fact that we wanted a fireplace. We didn't know where in the room. We didn't even know if it was going to be possible because we have a thatched roof, so we had to look into what the regulations are. And we ended up talking to the contractor for the fireplace, and we ended up finding the perfect solution. We did end up going for a gas fireplace, and I'm so glad we did because it's the simplest, easiest thing. A lot of people, when they first come into the house, they don't even know that it's not real. It gives a nice amount of heat. I mean, the dogs like live here full time now in front of the fireplace when it's on. And it kind of creates a space that you want to sit inside of. Like, you want to be among the fire, you want to sit here with friends or whatever and have a chat, and it's become a nice place to relax. But the focal point is the fireplace, and that's what we're so lucky about this home also, is that we have a TV room to the left. And I always don't like when a room is centered around a TV. I always enjoy a room where it's centered around something like a fireplace or the view or something like that. And so this kind of creates that atmosphere of relaxation. We built around the fireplace. We found the fireplace first. This is a 600-kilogram stone mantle, which was, I mean, we saw it in the store and we were like, okay, is it too big? But because the room is so big, I wanted it to be the kind of statement piece, the hero of the room. And I knew that once we built a library either side of it, it was going to feel really part of the room. And I mean, the library itself plus the fireplace is sticking out 1.20 meters out of the room. So it's actually taking up a huge amount. And when I was looking at these numbers and I was talking to everyone involved, I was like, I don't know if this is going to be overpowering, if the room is going to feel tiny, but the room actually feels twice the size. And we got the proportions right in the library. The color that we went for the library is, I'm just asking because I know in the comments people are going to ask, but the color for the library is Farrow and Ball downpipe. It's got some hints of blue, green, obviously with the majority being gray. But I love how this color really kind of changes with the light a little bit. We ended up going for the color Dimps, I believe, on the walls, also from Farrow and Ball. So this is kind of like more of like a gray. And how I actually figured out the color schemes is I kind of did all the color schemes around the color of the library because I knew this was the color. Even before we had designed the library, I knew I wanted it this color. So I was able to kind of then thread all the other colors in the room around this color palette. And I feel like we've gotten there and it's worked. The coffee table was also a little bit of a splurge. It's from a brand called 𝒂𝐻𝐋𝐄𝐂𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍. But I do find that, for instance, there's a few pieces in this house where we were like, okay, we're just gonna spend the money. But we wanted, for instance, these couches, we already liked this style for a while, and I was gonna buy the same couches from Neptune, which is where I got the table. But we were not going to be able to see the couches. We only could see the fabric swatches, and it was going to come to 15,000 euro for the 2 couches. And I said, I'm just not comfortable spending the money without even having seen it, and if I'm really going to love it. So these couches are actually from IKEA, and we got, there's a company called 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚 that does like these luxury covers specifically made for IKEA couches. So we got the covers remade by them, and you would never even tell. And the great thing about IKEA couches, here I am sponsored by IKEA, I'm not. But the great thing about IKEA couches is they come with a lifetime warranty on the actual frame. I mean, I think the covers were almost as expensive as the couch, but the price of the couch is low. So then you can kind of justify it. But between having a great cover and a great framework from IKEA, it worked really, really nicely. And the pillows, we ended up going for like a bit of like a blue color scheme. I actually don't like blue, but it's what worked best with the color of the library and with everything else that we had going around. And so, yeah, and you know, a lot of this stuff I drew inspiration from people I followed on Instagram, obviously the interior designer we were working with, and just things that Jesse and I like were drawn to. And the jute rug, I think, is one of my favorite pieces. This is from 𝒂𝐻𝒄𝒄, who we actually worked with on some of the rooms, like the TV room, which I'm about to show you. But this carpet, I think, kind of brings it all together, because before it felt like all the pieces were swimming, and now we have a bit of an island where the space is defined and is clear. Before we move on, we also got this chair from 𝒂𝐻𝒄𝒄, which is really nice. If you look just down there, this is the view we have towards the stables. So we thought it would be nice to have somewhat of a horse reference coming back in the painting. I forgot where I got this table, but it also came from the UK. And then this is an antique mirror that I found. Actually, a lot of the pieces that we did get from here are from antique stores, because I feel like they have so much more character, and they bring a different level of energy to a home. So this is actually over 200 years old. This was also a bit of a splurge, but I think pieces like this you keep for life. And then just some few decorations, but even the console table is very large. I think it's 2.5 meters. So we wanted to do really big pieces of furniture in the room, and I think it's the fact that the furniture, these furniture pieces in the library is really big, and the couches are actually not that big, they're 2.1. That's what makes the room feel bigger. I don't know, we were lucky, it just worked. So the wall actually here didn't exist, and this is where it used to end. It came down here, then there was like a little hook, and then it went down. So we already knew that we wanted to create the TV room into more of like a cozy small nook, and to achieve that we had to close up the wall more, because otherwise it kind of felt like you were part of this room. And we wanted to make sure that the two rooms not only had a different feeling, but they had like that privacy level. So someone could be watching TV and someone's over here and you don't feel like you're in each other's space. So going into the room now, we still have a few things that are coming, but this has turned into a really, really nice, cozy space. We went for black on the walls. And
I first thought it was going to be too much, but I think it looks pretty good.
It took some convincing for Jesse, because I was like, I think we should go black and like because I think a lot of the other spaces are quite soft, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit harder, but then soften it with the furniture, because for the furniture we went with a lot of grays. This is all 𝒂𝐻𝒄𝒄, the carpet, the couch is amazing, and the couch is so beautiful on the back, but sadly you can't see it here. But yeah, so we wanted to like tone down the extraness of the walls with the pieces in here. We have the two coffee tables also from 𝒂𝐻𝒄𝒄, and they carry that brass that's been threaded throughout the rest of the home. We've ordered now the 3 curtains, which we got electric, which I think it was like a little bit extra money, but I think in the long run it's going to be useful, because when we sit and watch TV at night, for instance, when we're sitting here, we're in direct line of anybody that's walking in front of our home. So we wanted to make sure that we had that privacy, and also I feel like we're the kind of people that, like, we're not pulling blinds up and down every day. They're either up or they're down for a week. So I think having those electric should be really, really nice.
Can I show this mirror?
Yeah.
It's like fisheye. It's like 0.5 on your iPhone.
Yeah. But it's cool, and again, it's understated because it's black, but it still has that softness around. Also, do you guys remember 𝒔𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘's birthday gift? Because let's turn around and have a look, because here she is. 𝒔𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘's 85-inch TV. So this has turned from, like, it's gone from like TV room to like movie room. And that's what we really, really liked. And the mentality behind how we set up the room was also is that we have 2 ottomans, and the 2 ottomans can come in to create like a huge bed. 2 coffee tables can act as side tables. So you can actually change this room around depending on the functionality you want to have out of it. We did end up keeping this stove. I imagine in the future we will change the stove to something else, because even though it's great quality, this stove, and it works really well, and it's super hot when you get it going, I don't love the look of it. So at one point we will change it. It's not bad, that's why we kept it for now, but I think at some point we can find something a little bit more ornate and interesting to add some interest to the room. One thing that 𝒔𝒐𝒍𝒍𝒐𝒘 and I were super happy with is the floor. And you guys,
we didn't even address it.
I know, and you guys have already seen it as we've been touring, but look, we ended up going for this line that kind of outlines all the edges, and it kind of just takes you through the whole home. We went for this herringbone pattern. The floor is called Paris. It's the model Paris from a company called Martijn de Wit here in the Netherlands. And I think single-handedly, this is the thing that changed the home the most. Because before we actually had 2 different floors. We had a wooden floor here, and we had tiles in the kitchen, and it just felt like it separated the space. But because it's such open living, we wanted to make it continuous and flowing. And in Europe, it's actually really not that common to have wood in the kitchen. A lot of people always have tiles, but where I come from in Australia, it's actually really common to have the wood threaded throughout the whole home. And so we thought, okay, why not just do it and make it really part of the whole house. The next area I want to show you guys is the landing area when you enter through the front door, and this is also the area that takes you up the stairs. And this area is not finished, it's still lagging behind a little bit. We have finished the floor. Not that we ever used the front door, but never used the front door. And but let's start with these. Yeah, so we ended up putting some crosses here just to break up, because before it was just these, and it was also giving me kind of like that 90s look that I didn't like. So I wanted to break these up with the crosses, and it's the same look we ended up going for on this cabinet. So I thought, okay, it'll kind of be threaded throughout and it'll make more sense. Coming inside here, we've changed the floor. It looks really, really good. We haven't done anything to the stairs, but I'm going to insert some inspo photos of what we've got planned for the stairs. I think we'll be changing the color. There'll be a carpet going through the middle. We still need to paint. There is a vacuum here. And there's a light. I'm going to show you the light in a second because I actually need your guys' opinion on that. But here we are having the cupboards remade, because before it was sliding doors, but I just want doors that open like this. And here's the downstairs toilet. We haven't done anything to it yet. That's part of phase 2. Phase 1 was just finished. And you can see this is the old floor that was all throughout this space. So in here we'll be changing quite a lot. I think we're going to go for a dramatic wallpaper with wooden paneling and a similar floor to the laundry. I think that's the kind of feeling we're going with that. And obviously we're going to be changing these lights as well because they're not really to our style. So this light, as I was telling you guys, this was first ordered to go on top of the coffee table. Now,
so not happening anymore?
Well, I'm not sure. I want to hear their opinions because right now it looks good, and sometimes you don't want to do too much that it starts to overpower the whole room. So what do you guys think of this light here? Does it work or does it not work? Because I quite like it, and we don't have any spots in the middle of the room here, so it's quite dark. So I think it could look really nice.
Maybe it's a bit too low though.
But this is literally, like, this is not a low light, so we couldn't go with anything not as low. Don't you think? But so let me know down in the comments what you think about that. We've talked about phase 1, and then phase 2 is going to be, we're going to do the laundry, we're going to do that area and the stairs, that kind of like landing area in front of the front door, and then we're going to be doing actually a small extension out this way. We're going to be going about 1.5 meters out in glass. So, because you guys can see there's already a bit of room here that's not usable. So that space plus 1.5 meters will bring us at roughly like almost 2 meters of space that we have to use out that way. And then what's going to happen with that extension, as I mentioned, it's going to be all in glass, so it's going to be really light. What we're thinking is the dining table will be there. That'll be like the official dining area. And then we'll be able to have a really nice big kitchen island here instead. And that's something that Yes has always wanted.
Yes.
And something that he was passionate about from the beginning. But for now, we couldn't figure out somewhere else to put the dining table. So we said, okay, he started looking into what the actual prices were for extending out in glass, and it was realistic. It wasn't like doing a full extension when you're like adding a whole other room. So by doing that, we'll be able to really pick the areas and how we want to have them. And I think it's always nice that when you're entertaining and you're having guests over for dinner, to have them in a space where you're not cooking right next to them as well. And obviously we're here trying to create our dream home. Like, none of this is necessary. I know maybe some people in the comments are going to be like, why are you doing all these things as good as it is now? And I'm agreeing, it's definitely good as is now, but we really want to turn this into our dream property and into our dream home. And in order to do so, we want to make these changes just to make us happy. So yeah, so that's kind of what's going to be coming up. I think once we've done phase 2, I'm going to show you guys a little bit the upstairs as well and what's going on with there, but this tour has gone on for long enough. So yeah, I'm super curious to hear what you guys have thought about our renovations, about the home. We haven't really shown the home properly like this. I'm going to be looking in the comments also to hear your feedback on the light over the coffee table, but for now, that is the tour, that is the home, that's where we're at. We're super happy, we're thrilled with the outcome. And give us your final note, Jesse. How do you feel about everything?
Well, I'm really, really grateful. I'm very happy with it, and every day it doesn't feel like real. So yeah, that's really, really good. And I'm just happy that the dogs enjoy the fireplace so much.
Yeah,
it's worth
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah, look, she's right there now, just asleep. And yeah, and for me also, it's, you know, every time I come down the stairs and I open the door, every day, it's been months now that we're finished. We've been finished since before Christmas. But I still have that moment of like, oh my God, I can't believe I live here. And I can't believe we've created this space. And I look at the home so differently now. And I'm vacuuming every day because I want to look after this space that we've created. So it's really special. And a big thank you to you guys as well, because you've obviously supported us through this and enabled us to achieve these dreams and these goals. So thank you all so much. And yeah, that's the house tour for now. I hope you guys all enjoy, and I'm going to be catching you guys on the next one. Bye bye.